Captain Elias Mercer squinted through the cockpit windshield as the landing lights cut through the thickening fog. The guidance systems insisted they were aligned with runway 27 at Heathrow, but the tarmac stretching ahead was far too narrow. The paint markings strangely faded. Still, fuel reserves were scraping bottom. There was no time to question. "Runway confirmed," his first officer said, though her voice carried an odd uncertainty. The plane touched down with a shudder, the wheels striking uneven asphalt. Instead of terminal buildings glowing with familiar floodlights, a forest pressed close to the edge of the runway. Pines, tall and black, swayed in the wind as though eager to swallow the aircraft. "Where the hell are we?" Elias muttered. The control tower crackled over the radio, calm and clipped. "Welcome to Heathrow. Taxi to Gate 5. But there were no taxiways, no ground crews. Only a strip of decaying pavement stretching into a misty tree line. Cabin lights flickered. Passengers shifted uneasily, murmuring. "Maybe a diversion," the first officer offered. "No," Elias said. His instruments still insisted they were at Heathrow. His GPS coordinates blinked with absolute confidence. London. Yet outside, silence pressed against the fuselage, thick as snow. He taxied slowly forward. The further they rolled, the narrower the runway became. Cracks split the pavement. Branches scraped the wingtips. From the cabin, a scream rang out. Then another. Elias craned his neck, but the intercom sputtered into static when he tried to call the crew. "Stop," the first officer whispered, her eyes fixed ahead. At the far end of the runway stood figures, dozens of them, motionless, shoulder to shoulder. Their silhouettes were tall, elongated, their faces hidden in the fog. They stood exactly where the runway ended, waiting. The radio flared again. "Gate 5 ahead. Proceed." The voices weren't air traffic controllers anymore. They overlapped, whispering in dozens of tones, yet every word was perfectly clear. Elias slammed the brakes. The plane groaned, shuddering to a halt. The figures didn't move. They only tilted their heads in unison, as though curious. Behind him, the passengers were screaming now, but the sound seemed distant, muffled by the fog seeping into the cabin through invisible cracks. The instruments flickered. GPS coordinates dissolved into strings of symbols. Fuel gauges spun to 0. The lights dimmed until only the ghostly glow of the figures remained outside. The radio whispered one last time, "Welcome home, Captain," and the forest swallowed the runway whole,